I'll get a lot of deals that are sent to me for, let's say, a foreclosure attorney, because they don't really want to deal with the situation. So I'll meet the client. I go out there. If it's not listed with a broker, then we'll list it. I usually prefer when they're listed with other brokers, so we're not involved in everything. But if we list it, we're in control of how the seller is going to handle everything with the bank. We get all the documents that's needed. We negotiate with the lender. We put a buyer on it.
These are your clients are struggling financially.
So these are people that have lost their jobs, or like I'll give you a perfect example. I have a client that the wife doesn't really know what's going on. We kind of started talking about it before. And the attorney brought me the deal to take care of for him. And his entire life turned upside down. The guy made millions at one time. And whatever the reason is, I don't know. I don't need to know his story. I just need to know that I can help him get out of the situation. But because of whatever happened with his job and he's keeping his wife completely in the dark, they don't really get along now. And now I have to be the therapist for either one. When they call me and, well, you know, she's mad at me because, or he's not telling me what's going on. So every single deal has a different scenario. So I can't just give you an actual.
So if you're busy, it's probably a bad sign for the market and a bad sign for the economy. Is that right?
We are about to get hit bad. I am pretty busy right now. It's just going to get worse. A very close friend of mine is a foreclosure attorney, and he told me just get ready because he's seeing all the foreclosures. He's the guy taking the houses from the people. He works with the banks. So he sees all the foreclosures happening.
Really? So what does he see specifically?
Well, he won't give me exact details because I don't know if he's allowed. But what he's seeing is all the people that are delinquent on their properties.
Really?
So it could be anywhere from 6 months to 6 years. And, you know, before COVID, people were still taking advantage. Well, through COVID, they took advantage. And then after that whole thing went away, people were still taking advantage because they knew they didn't have to leave. Nobody was kicking them out. The world is changing again, and the banks are not playing. Certain counties, the cops aren't playing anymore, and they're getting involved with evictions and kicking people out, and it's going to be a disaster.
Is this isolated to the New York area?
No, this is national, but New York is the toughest area.
Why?
New York has different rules. You know, like if I decided to stop paying my mortgage, I could probably stay in the house 5-7 years without blinking an eye. Where if I was in Texas or Florida, I'm out. Connecticut has a blacklist for squatters. So if I wanted to go rent something afterwards, my name would probably end up on that list. New York, you know, I'll give you an example. There was a house in Far Rockaway. There was a squatter living in the garage. Like, it wasn't even in the house. He was in the garage. And the garage was covered in mud. There was alcohol cans, everything, just everywhere. The guy was gone one day. I boarded up the door. I figure it's not really kicking a squatter out. You know, he's not in the house. He's staying in a garage. Well, the guy broke back in. So I went to the police. And I said, this guy's broke into the garage, and they wouldn't do a thing because squatters' rights.
This is in New York.
This is New York.
Yeah.
So New York is very difficult. Cops didn't want to touch it, but like I said, if a squatter breaks into a house in, let's say, Suffolk County, and you call the police, they've been just kicking them out right away. I think we're starting to see a turn where everybody's fed up with it. Nobody... you know, it's affecting the town, you know, your neighbors. You know, the house is boarded up and people are living in it. Or there's, you know, people living in the house that broke in that there's drugs going on. You smell nothing but, you know, marijuana, you know, going across the block. So it's going to come to an end.
So let's talk about the flip side. Obviously, nobody wants to see people struggling financially, not making their mortgage payments, having to foreclose on the property. But is there an opportunity for people to come in and pick up properties in this type of environment?
So there's a big opportunity. You know, obviously every house is different. You know, of course, if there's liens and judgments on them, this is all stuff that the buyers would have to pay. But as long as the number is low enough, if it's an investor, most investors don't care. They're paying cash. As long as it fits within their budget and they're going to make whatever their return is supposed to be, they're good with paying all that stuff. But if it's a mortgage, it's going to be hard to get those kind of deals done unless the buyer has cash that they can put in.
But I think anybody with little cash looking for a place, they dream of picking up a place that's been foreclosed, but it's not a straightforward process much of the time. What is the best way to actually do it?
So it's just like buying a regular house, right? The only difference is by the time it gets to a buyer that I deal with, we already have an approved number. It's quick, it's moved, and you're done within 2 weeks. But I've been working on it for 4 or 6 months, and I've been dealing with the squatters, or I had to board it up because people keep breaking in, or whatever the situation is. But if I get a buyer from day one, he's going to have to sit and wait. You know, it could be 2 months, it could be 6 months, under a year. It just depends on the bank. It depends on how quickly they want to get it off their books.
And so they go to a guy like you? Is that you can set them up with one of these foreclosed places?
Yeah, so a lot of investors will come to me because they want to buy foreclosures. They want to buy short sales. Yeah. And, you know, I feed whoever I can. You know, there are the buyers that play the games and just like to lock up the deals and not close and screw it up for the sellers. But as long as we can control the situation, the scenario, and we can get the seller out of the situation, because that's the only thing that matters, then whoever buys it is usually buying a short sale at a good price.
Finally, outlook, trends, opportunities in the New York area over the next 5 to 10 years. What do you think?
All right, so for the next, let's say 3 to 5 years, we're going to have a downfall of foreclosures, but the neighborhoods are getting cleaned up. That's what I look at for the most part, because you see a lot of these houses that the grass is overgrown or they're boarded up, whatever the situation is. So part of what I do is getting this out of the neighborhood, and the neighbors thank you for cleaning up their neighborhood. I think obviously pricing is going to go down, but it's hard to explain on how I'm envisioning it, because we had a handful of years ago, short sales, foreclosures, the prices were, like, do you know out east in Long Island?
Sure, yeah.
So do you know Mastic?
I don't know, but go ahead.
So in Mastic or Mastic Beach, we were able to short sell a house for $80,000.
Wow.
COVID hit, that same house is now going for $280,000. Yeah. In the same condition, which means they're going to fix it up and they're going to sell it for $500,000-$600,000. I think part of the properties are going to still have good value to them. Where it comes to these short sales and the foreclosures, you know, the banks are being tough. But I think in the next 5 to 10 years, I think value should round off. I think rates will stay somewhere, which they should. Stay somewhere between 4% and 6%. I don't think they should ever go back down to 2%, because that caused everything I'm going to deal with. And I think we'll have plenty of properties to start selling again, especially in Florida.
Hey, Matt, thank you so much.
No, thank you.